Art has given us different perspective to what can be observed within the eyes of a creative person. Practices observed and passed through from generation to generation, tracing back to the medieval era of art and certain incidents that followed its time. We will walk you through a brief history of what once was called medieval Byzantine art. To answer what is medieval art dating back to 395 AD, when the Roman Emperor Theodosius split the empire in half to his two sons, Honorius, Western Roman Empire, and Arcadius, Byzantine Empire. However, after 81 years after the death of Theodosius, the Western Roman Empire ceased to split. The majority of important works of art during the start of the medieval era were extremely uncommon, expensive items connected to secular elites, monasteries, or great churches, and if religious, usually crafted by monks. An example of this is Cross Matilde from Middle Ages. Early Christian art. By that, we early Christian artists also created works that was often stylized. In other words, we focus more on representing ideas through images, something called iconography, than on creating images that were realistic. An example of this is this image, Jesus healing the bleeding woman.
Christianity was a fundamental aspect of Byzantine art. Byzantine civilization was deeply religious and it valued particular virtues such as order and conventional structures. When it comes to church design, the Byzantine architecture had towering halls and rich embellishment, including marble columns and inlaid mosaic on vaults, inlaid stone pavements, and occasionally gold-covered ceilings. An example of this would be the Hagia Sophia. Byzantine art, architecture, paintings, and other visual arts created during the Middle Ages in the Byzantine Empire was centered on Constantinople and other areas influenced by it. The pictorial and architecture styles that characterized Byzantine art. Iconoclasm, which means image destruction, refers to an era in Byzantine history when the state outlawed the production of religious images, which also included art. Existing works of art were actively destroyed.
The existing styles of Christian art continue to develop and take on a more monumental and iconic character. For large Christian churches began to be constructed, and the majority of the rich people adopted Christianity, the public and elite Christian art became more elegant to suit the new spaces and clients. Insular art, also known as Hiberno-Saxon art, was produced in the post-Roman era of Great Britain and Ireland. In this period, Britain and Ireland shared a largely common style different from that of the rest of Europe. Most insular art originates from the Irish monastic movement of the Celtic Christianity or metalwork for the secular elite. Early Islamic art was influenced by Roman art, early Christian art, particularly Byzantine art. Chinese art had an influence on Islamic paintings, pottery, and textiles. From its beginnings, Islamic art has been based on the written version of the Quran and other seminal religious works, which is reflected by the role of calligraphy, representing the word as of divine revelation. Islamic art is a part of Islamic culture and encompasses the visual arts produced since the 7th century CE by the Muslims. Islamic art refers to the traditions across a wide range of periods and genres. Islamic art often has patterns and styles that are typically found in a wide variety of media, from ceramic or metalwork to large decorative schemes in tiling and mosques.
Mosque architecture, it expressed mostly in the form of mosques as well in related madrasas, khankas, shrines, and mausoleum complexes. There are two main styles of mosque architecture. Hypostyle, in which the roof is supported on pillars, domical, where the walls are surrounded by a dome. Pre-Monesque art is the period in European art from about 500 AD or from the late 8th century to the beginning of the 11th century Romanesque period. Romanesque art, the art of the period was characterized by a vigorous style in both sculpture and painting. No Romanesque royal palace has really survived. Most Romanesque sculpture is pictorial and biblical in subject. Examples are metalwork, animals, ivories, architectural sculpture, embroidery, stained glass, and more. Roman Romanesque architecture combining features of Roman and Byzantine buildings and other local traditions. Romanesque architecture exhibits massive quality, thick walls and round arches, sturdy piers.
Gothic art is a style of painting, architecture, and sculpture that began in Paris the middle of the 12th century and showed up throughout Europe all the way to the 1500s. The architectural style's definite feature is the pointed arc, while the definite feature of the Gothic painting and sculpture is naturalism. Gothic architecture flourished and became popular in Europe during the late Middle Ages. It is mostly characterized by its pointed arcs, ribbed vaults, stained and glass windows, thinner walls supported by flying buttresses, and slender skeleton structure. A great example of this is the Notre Dame Cathedral. Did you know that many of the great cathedrals, abbeys, and churches of Europe are Gothic architecture? It is also architecture of many castles, palaces, town halls, universities, and also some houses. Moving forward with our references, these are the references that we use for our presentation. And this is the theme slide that we have. I hope you enjoy our presentation. That is all. Thank you again for listening.